Hello. Can you hear us? If they can hear you from over there, if you can hear Carl just as well as me.
I'm trying to use the microphones again.
Yeah, but I have to turn on the pop-up chat, otherwise I can't see him. Fruiter rates all good. Woohoo! Okay, can you hear Carl and I at the same? Because I think I figured out what I did wrong with the microphones last time. And then I'll fix the computer so we're not doing this.
Is this microphone picking me up?
Can you hear Carl just as well as me? If not, we'll go back to the computer mic, but there's wind today up here. See my hair? They can hear you.
Okay.
Tell them a funny joke and see if they're really listening, Carl. I'll see if I can get something to fix the... Oh, I like these microphones. Last time we only had one of them turned on. We have some friends up here with us. You see them? They're working their way closer. Asylum's Farm is back from Wisconsin. Hello. We have a bit of a midsummer pile getting over there, getting ready to be burned. Let's see if I stick this under here, if that makes it more even or less. What do you think? I'm high tech here. Okay. So, what did we do this week, Carl? We sheared the sheep. Well, we didn't, but we cheered someone else's. She did it. If I go slightly further up, you'll get a really good view. I have to go further out and then up. Do you think they're a really good view?
Yeah, this is
Carl's
a really good view.
I like Carl's view. There. I'd have to sit a little closer though. Ah! My foot got caught on the cord. Okay, if you're not puking already, I think they're going to need seasick tablets for this. Okay, I can read chat now. Adrian's waiting, or Adrian, Albert is waiting. I keep mixing those two up because the names are similar. Albert is here, sitting and waiting for the fun. Charlotte is here from sunny, rainy Bergen. Don't want to translate into degrees, no point. But 16 is actually not too bad. I think we're 20-something here. I forgot where I put my phone, so
we are probably around there, we too, but...
Put it in my bra and then ate it. There you can see the sheep going behind. They're up here getting the munchies. 17 degrees. So it feels warmer than that, though. It's got a very hot breeze. It's probably because we were running after sheep. That's why we're right on time. Because we chased the sheep up here. Bird poo. Garcia's here. And Ashley, or Lisbeth is here. Yep, I keep getting those names mixed up. Good morning, Vikings, 80 and Sonic. Yeah, so it's a little bit warmer where she's at. And Prude is here. Ready to whip people into shape if they misbehave. Beware the blue name. Yenny's back! Yay! We haven't seen Yenny Erickson in a while. She's been, she put out a really cool needle binding video on Instagram for the $1 and a stitch. It's actually really well shown. So you should check that out. Somebody thought it looked confusing, but if you think about it, the only difference between Dalarna and Oslo, of course, I don't have a thing on me here. Here we go. There. The only difference between Dalarna and Oslo is that you're going under instead of behind that stitch. That's it. But because you take it under, it automatically turns your stitches in behind, goes perpendicular to your thumb. That's why she says the left. But you have to check that out if you haven't seen it, because I love that stitch. That's one of my favorites. I actually have an example somewhere. Nope, I don't. I lied. I think I brought the whole closet with me, but none of them are there. Is Greg coming up yet to tell us a story? Greg said he's going to tell us a story, but he didn't look very Viking when I saw him last, so hopefully he's getting himself pretty. Carl has expectations. You know, Greg looking pretty, that is.
Yeah, no, it has to.
Everybody should look pretty for you, Carl. Martin Larson is here. Hello. And Aunt Bonnie is here. Oh my God, 91. That's pretty hot, but she's in the metro area, if I think right, cities, Minnesota. So it's a lot hotter there than it is here. They're right there, the sheep. Let's see.
They are almost done with their circuit now, so I might be
Gotcha.
trying to run down to the village to eat the woad.
I'll chase them back. I might have to stop and chase the sheep back up every once in a while. Don't worry. I'm speaking softly, but I'm speaking loudly, and I'm carrying a big stick. And we just guide them up here.
Speaking a lot and carrying a medium stick.
Do I need to? Yeah, speaking a lot and carrying a medium stick. Yeah, your stick was bigger than mine. I'm feeling like I'm not representing. Size does matter when it comes to the sheep herding.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Katarina of Oxford is here. Hello. Where is everybody from? If you haven't said, I know where some of you are, but not all of you. And Asylum Farm is from Wisconsin, which is my neighbor state. I'm originally from Duluth, Minnesota. Obviously, this is not Minnesota. This is Gudvangen. We're at the top of the Viking village right now, getting ready for Sankthans or Midsummer. There's a big pile of wood gathering over there. Do you guys celebrate Midsummer? How do you do it in Norway, actually? That's a little different than, you're the Norwegian, you have to tell that one.
Both Midsummer and Ulsok is just an excuse to burn a fire.
Yeah. You don't get naked and dance around it and say, oh,
If anybody does that, it's after I've gone to bed.
Aw. You could do it all by yourself if you want.
I am having
might watch.
serious problems seeing the fun in that, but
It's fun for me.
then I'm not by myself, am
No,
I?
I'm not joining you, and we're just watching.
Mm.
I'm not getting naked. Okay. Albert is working on, on a tunic. Oh, a new tunic and trying to get the gore piece at the same piece of the arm. Hopefully it works. It's a little tricky. If you have a seam, then you can just attach it to one side and then the other. But if there's no seam here, then attaching a triangle gore is a bit of an issue. I have to do it by hand usually. Karin Hollick is here from Phoenix. Swedes go crazy at Midsummer. Yeah, see, that's the Midsummer I learned first, was the Swedish Midsummer. They, you have to explain that one, Jenny. You've got, well, we just like big bonfires here, and then we all go to the nearest place that has water, so beach, lakes, Saman River. I'm just keeping an eye on the sheep there.
I think
We
the
have some.
Swedish are afraid of fire, so they dance around the pole instead.
I thought that was the maypole, or we just call it the maypole in the
Yep.
United States.
That's the
But
pole.
it has nothing to do with May. And now when you say dance around the pole, there might be people that don't realize that pole dancing is something completely different than dancing around a maypole.
I'm not sure if even the Swedish know the difference.
No, they do. We have the great phallic maypole. Yes. Okay, never mind. Yes, she does. Are you having a beer, Jenny? It's Friday. The bonfire. I like that from Karen Olson. Andrea's here. Happy May Day, May 1st, maypole dancing. Yeah. Also, here Midsummer is when? The 21st, 22nd of June? And if you saw my wonderful, hi, Jim. We are waiting for Greg to come up here and tell us a wonderful Norse mythology story. If not, I'll have to show you what I'm needle binding instead. Or we make Karl tell you a wonderful story about Harald Hårfagre. Harold the Fine Hair. Fair hair.
Good.
Yeah? Yeah, let's tell that. You tell that. First I'll tell him what I'm needle binding, and then you can tell him. Because then I can work on it and chase sheep. Did they go down the hill or no? Nope, they're over there behind you. Okay, you can see them. Oh, nope, that's your boat. We don't want to look at that. This is what I'm making. Actually, Karl should try these on because they fit him, but they're not for him. They're going in our web shop, which is now looking more English these days. They are going to go, they're going to be full mittens, but I'll have a little finger so you can take the finger, so you can take her out, because never pull off Malbaum mittens that stretches them, always push them off. So if your modern device needs attention, you might not be able to take them off that quickly, so it's easier to just stick a finger out. And then I'll have gray. I will have gray going around the base in a little loopy pattern, like the ones I've made before. Okay, tell the story. I'll needle bind. Harold, fine hair, fair hair. Which is it?
Fine hair would be the best translation, I think, because fair hair indicates that he was blonde, and I don't know that. He's sometimes called the mythical first king of Norway,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of controversy about his background and existence. He is, I would say, to the extent that you can use words like more or less historical, but I would say that he is more historical than Ragnar Lodbrok, and there is probably a historical character at the bottom of all this. But what he famously did, he probably didn't do. He famously became king of all of Norway. And most likely it wasn't all of Norway. But under the same logic, Alfred the Great was never the king of all of England either, but he was the king of the English. So the parts of Norway that Harald Finehair didn't control was controlled by the Danish king. There is also a lot of debate on whether or not whether he was from the eastern part of Norway or from the western part of Norway. Because the eastern part of Norway is what would be easiest for the Danish king to control. So the way he is described in Snorre as a king from the eastern part of Norway seems unlikely, because the Danish consider that to be part of Denmark. The way the story goes in Snorre and in several of the other sources, he was the son of Halfdan the Black. Halfdan dies going home from a midwinter blot, and he is traveling over a frozen lake. And because, when you give hay to a horse, it has to deposit that somewhere. A lot of people had been going back and forth across this lake, and a lot of horses has been depositing all over the lake. And dark horse deposits collect sunlight like a solar cell panel and turns it into heat and melts the ice. He wasn't that good in physics, so he just tries to ride through it, and his sleigh and his horses go through the ice, and he drowns. And his son, young Harald, son of Halfdan, it's his kingdom. And this is usually a very vulnerable point for
by horse deposit. Sorry.
A very vulnerable point for a kingdom when young and inexperienced. Some sources say he was 10 years old, some sources say he was 20. But at least he's young and he has no direct experience in ruling. So normally he would be put under the guardianship of somebody else. And he kind of is. He's put under the guardianship of his uncle Guttorm. But Guttorm seems to have, been a very competent military commander, and secondly, very loyal to the boy. So he helps him out. He commands his army, and he beats up every opportunist who basically tries to take advantage of the situation. And then we can go either with the realistic or the romanticized version of the story. The romanticized version says that he fell in love with Gida, I think her name is. Not entirely sure about her name.
No, you said Gida last time, at least.
And she is set to inherit one of these other small kingdoms. And this is one of the rare cases when the heart and the head draws you in the same direction. Because if he marries her and they unite their kingdoms, they will have a very good starting point for making something bigger. But she just flatly rejects him. She says that, no, I don't want to marry some little king like you. I want a proper king, like the Danish king. And he says, okay, then I will not cut my hair or my beard, and I'll neither comb my hair or my beard until I become king of all of Norway. And off he goes on a 20-year period with a little bit of diplomacy and lots of fighting, ending at the final in the sea battle of Hjørungavåg, when he beats the last two serious contenders. Or they might just have wanted to be left alone and not have an overking. This inadvertently causes two things. It causes an exodus of people who don't want to live under his rule. Some go to Iceland. That's mostly people from Western Norway who likes the ting system. The Gulating in Western Norway has always been a very strong ting. So they go to Iceland and start the Altinget, the longest stable democracy in the world. But some of the more militant ones goes to the Orkneys. And for those of you who listened to my story about Viking Darwin Awards,
I liked that one.
this is where that part comes in.
6 weeks ago, I think.
Because these guys are not, they are not just sitting on the Orkneys tending to their sheep. They use the Orkneys as a base to ride the coast of Norway, the coast of Scotland, and everywhere where a Viking ship can bring them. And this is annoying for Harald the Finehaired, because he is now king of most of Norway. And it also gives him problems with foreign diplomacy, because these guys are Norwegian and they are now plundering and raiding everywhere. So he sends the sons of a friend of his, the sons of the Jarl of Møre, or Mær, as it's for some reason translated to in English.
Møre is spelled M-Ø-A-E.
The sons of Øystein Mørejarl. They very easily defeat the Vikings on the Orkneys and take control of the Orkneys. But the oldest one of these guys, I don't remember his name, he loses his son, and Harald gives him the jarldom of the Orkneys as kind of a compensation for losing his son. And fairly immediately afterwards, this guy dies, and his brother, Sigurd the Mighty, takes over. And he gets bored. He gets the same problem that the original Vikings had. I just don't want to be a sheep farmer on the Orkneys. But he has enough loyalty to Harald the Finehaired that he doesn't go and plunder Norway. He focuses on Scotland. And he has a long-running war with a guy called Malbrigda. And in the end, he kills Malbrigda, decapitates him, and hangs his head from the saddle of his horse. And then his leg rubs against a tooth that is sticking out of this head. He gets a small cut on his leg that gets infected, and he dies. So he killed Malbrigda, and Malbrigda killed him.
I like that when the what was it called, that death after death, or double killed, or we had a word for that. It was not, it was something about with the necro, but not necrophilia or necrophile. It was necro death. I don't know, what do you call that? We had a word for it. Oh, we got an avalanche going on up there.
Toril was wrong about the avalanche season.
Do you see it up there? In the middle? There's like a cloud of dust coming up, but that's actually an avalanche working its way down there.
It's a small one for now.
Yeah, but you can see that. I can see it on the screen. It's kicking up. You guys actually caught an avalanche. This thing costs extra, by the way. No, that's pretty good though, but it's just going to keep falling down that level, so it kicks up a lot of dust. But you can hear it if I shut up. Let's see. That's quite cool. I think that's the first rock avalanche we caught proper that they can see.
It might actually make it down into the waterfall.
Yeah, if I hold this as still as possible there. Now my hands are balanced. Yeah, because I can definitely see it on the screen and I'm not looking at it directly. No, that's going to make it to the waterfall. I see it. Being quiet so you can hear it for a second. I wonder if you you take the dead head off the mic. Oops, sorry. That's not crunching anymore now. No, it looks like it stopped a bit. But I'll put the thing back on the microphone so you don't hear the... Let's see if we put it like this for a minute. I'll put the dead cat back on the microphone.
Yeah, seems...
Yeah, they could hear it. It sounds like thunder. Oh, Heidi's here. That's right. She's just down. Heidi, you should come up. Heidi got here yesterday, I believe. Heidi Marie. She was here last summer.
Seems like it stopped.
Yeah, but the dust is kind of cool to see. But we had one by our house this week too, earlier.
Yeah.
Where right now we have like a little loaner house for pandemic purposes. And it's modern. It has internet. It's really weird. And heat if we needed it. But right now it's too hot. But we had a little avalanche up there. It's just up the road a little bit. Let's see. You were telling a really... Okay, neat avalanche. Worth every penny. I don't hate this. Very cool. Heard one in Banff, hadn't seen one. Really? I was surprised. But then, yeah, Asylum Farm must have been checking us out on Heygo, by the way. Heygo. You can see we're allowed to announce it properly now. I'm going to turn around because it's just a dust cloud after now. Let's see. There we go. I can actually find you the link. But you were telling a story,
yeah.
And I'll link the Heygo thing, and you can figure that out.
But back to his hair.
Yeah.
In the period that maybe took like 20 years, 12 to 20 years, where he didn't shave his hair, didn't cut or comb his hair or his beard, he was called Harald Luva, which means something like Harald Tangled Hair, or Harald whose hair is so tangled that it looks like a hat.
Looks like mine.
When he finally gets his haircut, his name is changed to Harald Finehair, because apparently he had really good hair. And the combination of having really good hair and being the single most powerful man in Norway apparently works wonders with the opposite sex. So while he is trying to make himself deserve Gyda, or what's her name was, he's not exactly being celibate. He has multiple wives and multiple concubines in addition to the wives. Some numbers put his number of actual wives as high as 9. And with all the concubining, it's hard to say exactly how many girlfriends this man had.
Hey, Greg.
This causes problems for generations to come, because also for political reasons, he marries a Danish princess, and she don't want to be the 10th fiddle in the orchestra. So she insists that he divorce at least 9 of his other wives. We don't know if he had more than 9 at this point. With her, he gets his son Erik Bloodaxe. He isn't called Bloodaxe yet, Erik Haraldsson at this time. But because Harald the Finehead kind of uses him as a hitman to remove other children that annoys him, he kills 2 of his brothers, Björn the Far Traveler and something Longlegs. The guy called Longlegs was killed because he insisted on being a Sidemon.
What?
A Sidemon.
A Sidemon?
A male practitioner of magic. Sidemon.
Sidemon. I haven't heard that one before.
He's the son of...
I thought you said Spider-Man.
He's the son of Harald the Finehead and a Sami woman called Snøfrid. And for a man to do magic in the Viking Age is considered pretty bad. Magic is considered to be feminine and women's work. So women can do magic with no social repercussions. But if a man does it, well, that's not right.
He's going that way.
So his father goes to him and says, I see you like this magic stuff, and I know that Odin did it, but you should really not be doing this. And he says, yeah, no, I want to be a Sidemon. So his father says, okay, I see there is no point in talking to you. I'll go and talk to my other son. So he goes and talks to Eirik Bloodaxe, pats him on the shoulder or something like that, and says, we might have a little bit of a problem with your brother. Can you fix it? And he is psychotically loyal to his father. So he goes, yeah, no problem. And hence the name Bloodaxe. There is a whole bunch of these guys, and some of them survive and have children of their own. And there is no primogenitor in Viking society. If you are the son of a king, you can claim the kingship. And if you have soldiers and courage and all the other things they like in a king, then hey, no problem. So up until at least the 1200s, we have people who can claim descent from this guy trying to become king of Norway. And when you have an unstable person as a king, or an unpopular person as a king, it's pretty easy for them to get the kingship. Another kind of famous son of Harald the Finehead, who also becomes king of Norway, is Håkon the Good, also known as Håkon Adelstein's Fostre. And here is the story, because Håkon traveled to and visited with Kong Adelstein of, I don't know if he is a king of England or king of Wessex, but he considers himself to be king of England. He visits him, and when there, Adelstein gives him a sword. And it's a really good sword. So he accepts it. And Adelstein kind of goes, haha, you know what it means when you take a weapon from a king, right? He is hinting that when you take a king's weapon, you are basically bound to that king. You're supposed to wield it in his service. You're supposed to be his man. So Harald is obviously annoyed by this because he considers himself to be at least an equal, if not a superior, to an English king. So the next time he comes around, he has his son with him. And this little kid climbs around and plays on the floor while the adults are talking. And at some point, he just climbs into the lap of the English king and rides on his leg. And the English king is busy with talking, so he just kind of sits there and plays with the kid while he's talking. And the king says, well, you know what it means when you've had the son of a king on your lap, right? This needs some explanation, because one thing that people were actually concerned about in the Viking Age is that children can be spoiled. So if you have kids that don't know the value of hard work, all of a sudden born into power and privilege, they might fuck it all up. So to avoid this, you have your kids raised by somebody of lower status than yourself. A king would have his son raised by his warriors. A warrior would have his son raised by a farmer, so that everybody knows how food gets to the table, so to speak. And by this logic, if the English king is the foster father of the son of the Norwegian king, that means he is of lower status than him. And being Anglo-Saxon, they kind of follow the same logic in England. So he sees that, okay, you have me there. But he decides to take it seriously. And to the difference from Harald the Finehead, who is a pagan, King Adelstein is a Christian. And now he has an opportunity to spread Christian faith to the kingdom of Norway by raising the son of the king of Norway. So he does this. He raises Håkon, and he also gives him the finest sword on the British Isles. A sword with a blade so fine that it could cleave a millstone into the eye, that's the hole in the middle, without even getting blunt. He called the sword Kvernbit, and he takes it with him to Norway when he, some years later, makes a bid to become king of Norway when his older hitman psychopath brother turns out to be too unstable to actually rule Norway. But I'll tell his story at some other point. Karin just ran away to poke a sheep.
We have sheep issues. They're trying to eat their way through the hedge.
I'm very bad at this.
Shh.
She's using the big stick now, so knows she is being serious.
Well, don't walk in it and you'll be fine. Shh.
I don't know exactly what she said. She's talking something about thistles and her big stick and being barefoot.
And the fact that the sheep was deciding to go to the toilet at that point.
They think the blacksmith sweater smells like plant because I did plant dye.
Or themselves.
Look how cute they are, so skinny looking though. They look naked. Actually, it's only been what, like 4 days, and their hair's already kind of grown back a little bit. He's even got a little birthmark on the middle of him, the back. Make sure your boat is out of range there. So Greg's here. I was going to see if they have any questions for Karl. Well, Karl's there.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just a minute. I took away the microphone when I was going to go chase the sheep. Do you want to sit back on the bench, or is your butt hurting?
No, my butt is fine.
Okay.
My butt is very fine.
Oh, look. Look, I can actually do this.
Fires are not for food.
Oh, he doesn't want to be on camera. Okay, hold your eyes one more time. I'll stop moving the thing around. You know what? If I hit 1,000 subscribers, we can use a gimbal and a phone, and then you won't be so sick. Little hint there. I keep forgetting to tell people like and subscribe. Okay. Hey, Heidi, come and sit over here somewhere.
Hello.
Just watch out for the sheep poop. They're dropping it everywhere. Did you see the avalanche we had up there? Let's see. Okay. Det var kul, serious Jim. That's the avalanche. Yeah, you heard it. Did you hear it down there, Heidi? I saw you wrote it sounds like thunder. Yeah.
I was down in the near
I see. Now I see it says coming, changing into Viking clothes. I'm getting the closer I get to 50, the worse my eyes get. Hi. There he is. Let's see.
Stay there, and I'll just use you as a cushion.
Careful, he will headbutt you.
I know.
Okay, Arlene, no, everyone says hi, Greg. They've noticed you. So, Greg, you're going to have a story to tell, and we're at minute 33, just so you know. One thing we are in this village, and that is long-winded. This one, we're all long-winded. Women rule in magic. I like that. Sigurd Reis Haraldsson, Prince of Norge, King, Kong over Hadefylke, Risa, H-R-I-S-E. You know that one? Sorry, I'm just getting my butt more comfy. Drea says, Karl's getting my dog's attention by whistling. Were you whistling?
No, that was me.
That was on us, Greg.
I was
put the
whistling
microphone here. Jenny says we can hear her, though. Oh, you were listening to me now. Du historiker? Yes, I think so, Jim. Actually, jag är ganska säker på det, men han är inte helt enig med mig. Are you a historian?
No.
I think he is. He knows a lot of history. What do you need to be a historian?
Yeah, you would need something better than a bachelor in history.
Yeah. Great story. Thank you, Karl. Jenny says, looking forward to hearing more about the psychopath hitman brother. Vikings of interest. Okay, Greg, you have a story. You ready?
No, I'm not ready for stories quite yet.
You're not ready. Okay, then Heidi, say hello. You can have the microphone. I waited till she got food in her mouth. No, course. Heidi just got here yesterday. It's the first time I'm seeing her. Welcome back. So do you want to know what I did while Karl was telling his wonderful story? I had run out of yarn, so I had to splice on new yarn. So I spliced on the wool, and then I looked down and I saw it wasn't spliced, and I thought, well, I must have done a crappy job. I spliced it on again. And apparently it's just like those kids' mittens that you kind of put through the sleeves. So I had to actually splice the wool onto both mittens and had no end. This is what happens when you don't pay attention.
Okay.
So there I am trying to put the mittens on. Anyway, if I turn this around, maybe that'll stay up instead of fiddling with the microphone. No, so I can't find the end of my yarn because it was both spliced onto two mittens at the same time.
Okay.
So that was good. Heidi, you have a fan club? They're saying hello.
Oh,
Now she's on this side of the computer. You could be too.
yeah.
Yay. We open on June 18th. So not long now. And then we're going to have, then it'll be how to interest. Is Norway opened up yet? Do you know?
I don't know.
Or we
I
just
Not
gonna have
haven't,
open to
Norwegians?
England.
I
I know
haven't
that
been
much.
paying attention lately,
Yeah.
but I don't think so. Not yet.
There's a lot of talk about optimism about July, though.
I
hopefully.
saw a newspaper headline that said, "Slik blir vaksinepassene." This is what your vaccine passport will look like.
Yep.
So I take that to mean that we are going to do some kind of vaccine card or passport thingy.
I think so, but whether it's required to go into any place or not yet, I don't know.
It would make life so much easier.
I
if
think,
they did.
yeah, it
So,
might. There's always a big debate about that one. Regina's here. I saw she had cake. Did you get dressed up for us? We made. Greg didn't get dressed up, but everyone else did.
Greg left his
Hello,
clothes
Greg.
at
Meet
home.
Bus. No, he didn't. We kind of forgot because we usually do this on Saturdays. But Karl and I made a full online schedule for Heygo, and then we looked at the thing and realized, oh yeah, that's right, we have YouTube on Saturdays. So now we have YouTube on Fridays for this month.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pruda put the Heygo link up there. She was faster than me. If you click on that one and then just kind of keep checking it periodically, that'll show you when our tours are. So you can see Karl tell these stories and more. There's a new tour starting tomorrow. You have to talk about that one, but the other one changes. There will be like 2 repeat aspects, but there's always something new. So you have to come and see that one. It's a tip-based thing, so it's free to register. And then if you like us, you can tip us. And that's actually what we do for a living. That's part of our work. This is just for fun. Dora said Midgardsblot is again postponed, so next year we'll hopefully be coming to Norway. That is a huge Viking metal festival in Norway, if you can call Viking metal a music. It's basically loud. There's a lot of black clothing.
It's
a lot of pentagrams and weird stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of noise, so
Yeah.
And it's my hometown.
Yeah, it's in Horten, yeah. Oh, Borre, yeah. Yeah. It's near Midgard Viking Center. Yeah, I went and worked at that one a couple of years in a row, and then it's no longer feasible for me to do it, so I stay and work here instead because I make more money if I do it. Because this pays so well. Arlene Cross says she's dressed up. She's just trying on her new apron dress, not quite finished yet. Ooh, yay! You have to post pictures when you do. I will get better at social media, but we are in pretty much in full-blown Viking season. So I am horrible at social media lately. But the good news is I'll be helping Viking Valley with their social media. Hello, bus meet Karin. Anyway, you have your story ready now because you're running out of time. Okay, story time, Greg. I will allow you 15 minutes of story time.
I don't need quite 15 minutes.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Well, we'll get you at the top of your head so you can get some water.
I apologize if you've heard this one before, but this time I'm going to tell
you should take the mic properly.
Little bit of the story of Scotty. And so Scotty is a child of one of the giants, and this particular giant, she actually was trying to avenge because her father had been killed by the gods for many other things, and I've told the story of how the father died in a previous video, so you can find that elsewhere. But Skadi decides that she wants vengeance for her father's death. And so she goes to Asgard and she demands that Loki, who she holds responsible for her father's death, be killed in recompense for the fact that that her father was killed. And so she gets there and she demands his head. Now, at this point, Loki still hasn't completely turned against the gods. And so, therefore, the other gods, and Odin in particular, decide, no, you cannot have Loki killed because he's actually very useful to us and we don't want him dead quite yet. And so Loki tries to come up with other ways to not die. And so while they are talking, Odin decides to offer Skadi a marriage into the Asa family. And if she's married into the family, well, everyone will be happy-ish. I mean, she won't have her revenge, but at least Loki doesn't die, and she does get some sort of power and prestige by now being part of the godly family. And before Odin even finishes saying to Skadi, look, Skadi, we will give you the right to marry one of our... Before he even finishes his sentence, she's going, yep, okay, Balder, I'm marrying Balder. And this does not go down very well. This is about as well received by the rest of the gods as Loki being killed was received by Odin. And so, naturally, everybody's saying, no, that's not going to happen. Well, everyone except Loki. He's quite happy. He's thinking to himself, yes, that will get Balder out of the way for a while. But Balder doesn't want to marry her, and none of the other gods want to marry him off to her either. Many of the other goddesses, at least, also would quite like to be the ones to marry Balder at some point. And so instead, Odin says, no, you didn't let me finish. We're going to offer you the right to marry one of our gods, one of our bachelor gods. But you can only choose which one you're going to marry by their feet. So you're not going to be allowed to see the rest of them. And so she's like, well, Baldur's the Beautiful. Of course, this will be an easy challenge. Yep, okay, that's fine. And so she's led away for a while the gods are stood behind curtains, and all of them are quite anxiously waiting to find out which one of them is going to be marrying the giantess that has a few anger issues, shall we say.
Anger management issues?
Yeah, just a few. And so when she comes back in, and Loki's not so happy at this point because he's also in the lineup. So he's thinking, okay, if I get chosen, I'm going to die anyway. So this isn't really a good thing for me. But she doesn't know which one, of course, is which one. And so she is led along the curtain and she's looking at all their feet and she's going, okay, no, that one's got a horrible wart on it. That's not Balder. Oh God, has that one ever washed his feet? No, that's definitely not Balder. And eventually she comes to one pair which are so pristine and so clean and beautiful looking. She's just like, yep, that's Balder. I'm marrying that one. Just take away the curtain. Let me see my husband. Unfortunately, she's not one. She's actually decided to choose the feet of probably the opposite to Balder. She's chosen to marry Njord, the old man of the sea. And because Njord spends so much time stood in the water over his domain, his feet are always getting washed. So they're naturally quite clean and very nice to look at, apparently. And so this is how Njord and Skadi end up marrying one another. And the problem is that this didn't really pan out, this marriage, because while Njord absolutely loves the ocean, Skadi could not fathom how to stay there. All she could hear was the crashing of the waves, the cryings of the gulls, and she was not very happy with this. So she said, no, I can't live here. We're going to live up in the mountains. And Njord, so infatuated was he by Skadi that he agrees to at least try living up in the mountains. But he has as much problem up there as she does by the sea. And one day he says, look, I'm sorry, I can't manage this. All I can hear is the howling of wolves. All I can hear is the wailing of the wind coming through the peaks. It sounds like people are dying. I can't stay here. And so it wasn't very long before the two separated. But unlike what a lot of people seem to think that they got divorced, there's no actual mention of that in the story. It's just that they ended up living apart. So at least Scotty was still a member. She's just no longer actually staying with her husband all the time. So that's your story for this week.
You've inspired Charlotte.
Okay.
Charlotte says this story will help me search for a mate. She's just going to look for wet feet. I like the story.
Okay.
Charlotte, yeah. She should be coming here soon as it allows it. Did Njord and Scotty have any children, by the way?
Not that we know
I saw
of.
that was in there. Yeah, thanks,
Not
Curtis.
that we know of.
Yeah.
I've never seen any information of children of Njord and Scotty.
Yeah.
Obviously, Njord already had children, but I've never found any reference to Scotty having children, whether that be with Njord or anyone else for that matter.
Jim's asking if we know any stories about Hardrada. I'm going to ask Carl if he can prepare that for next week.
That's a Carl
I think.
one.
Carl, yeah, because Carl can go on and on and on and on about these things, and he should, because it's funny as hell. So we will. Then I don't have to think of what to do next week. So
yep,
perfect. So we'll make him look that one up. See if I missed anything else. No, your story was so good they didn't have any questions.
That's good.
Drea writes, audio CDs of Storytime would be cool to buy. You all have good stories. Funny you should say that. Okay, so the website, the web shop is now looking more English than it did, but it's still under construction as far as categories, etc. goes. See if I can find you a link for the web shop, because I don't even think Peruta has that one yet. The My Shopify one.
Peruta, see if you can find it before Karin does.
Oh, you put her on that's a challenge. Oops, I'm
I
standing
know it
on the
is.
microphone. That's a challenge. Let's see. There's the online store. Okay, and then we gotta go. Oops, not that.
That's not it.
No, I found it, but now I gotta find YouTube again. And the chat. It is. This one is the web shop. Yay! So it's in English now. Most of the titles are in English, but we got a lot more products to put in there, and we've got a few more menus, I think, to sort out, because the menus look kind of a little weird too yet. But we're working on it.
Peruta was slightly behind you.
Dang! Yeah, but she beat me in the last one though, so that was good. Anyway, so why was I telling him to go to the web shop? There was something we were going to look
Stories,
there.
audio.
Oh,
CDs,
yeah. There's
like
actually a section in there called. She did right. She says she beat me. That's about the same time. Nice try. Anyway, no, but it's this audio books, which are stories read by our guides or something, or people in the village anyway. Like Georg, for example, or probably you.
This is news to me.
This is news to you. No, this is something we've been talking about, but there's actually no product in that category yet.
I have no problem doing it, but it's still news to me.
But since you're now cheering him on, I definitely think you need to make some recordings, though.
Okay.
If I can do.
Fine.
So now this is an idea that they wanted. So the slot is available in there, but we don't actually have anything in that category yet. But now you know what it's for. Albert has fatted up new shoes while listening. That is good. I have to find my shoes. I've been wearing my winter mucklucks, and they got holes in them now due to the anthracite.
Yep,
anorthosite. I can't say that word.
Anorthosite.
Yeah. To whom was Njord married before?
Now, this is, I can never remember her name.
Thanks to the story monk.
You're welcome. Who's calling me monk now?
Actually, before you answer that question, I'll show you one little needle lining tip.
Okay.
They wanted to know, some people want to know, how do you do thumb holes or heel holes? It's a lot like the way you do it in crochet. You make I have to count the amount of stitches that goes around my thumb. That's how many holes I'm going to need, or stitches I'm going to need. So I start with a chain. I just make a chain off there. You can see a little bit better now if I pull my hands behind. Like that. Yeah. And then I will skip the amount of stitches. So in total around here, I'll have about 9 stitches, I think, because this is really fat yarn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There. And then I connect it to the chain again and keep going. So when this is done, I will have a hole there. Okay, anyway, there's a tutorial for Instagram. Okay, I did. No, he didn't stop being a monk. I swear to God, I stopped the monk. Greg can play background music while he records his own stories. He's going to be a one. I like it. You're going to be like that guy on Mary Poppins that plays the accordion and the cymbals and the drums and the. Okay, answer the question now, Greg. I almost called you Carl. The story was, to whom was Njord married to before?
Okay, so like I say, or like I started saying, I cannot ever remember the name of the wife of Njord before, but there is a lot of speculation and a lot of belief that he was first married to his sister, whatever her name was. Whenever you whatever, I was just trying to find out what her name was, and every time I looked for who was Njord's first wife, it just goes, "Oh, Njord married Scotty story,"
Wasn't
and
like
I'm just
Scotty the first?
No,
You know, like my ex married another Karen, so there's Karen the first and Karen the
Scotty,
second.
yeah, maybe. But it sounds like he was married to his sister first of all, and this is actually something that seems to be in keeping with the family, seeing as their twin children, Frey and Freya, were married to each other until they became part of the main family of the Aesir gods, where it was frowned upon and they had to split up. I also found out that, and I didn't know this to be completely honest, it said that but in this it says that after Njord and Skadi split up, she then went on to marry Odin and they had many children together. However, don't take that quite so mythologically accurate, shall we say, because that is recorded in the Heimskringla, which for the most part is a factual book after you get past the first couple of chapters, which is about the gods. And so that seems to be Snorri's attempt at trying to connect the gods as not being gods at all and just being very, very powerful people before the known age of the Vikings started.
So yeah, it says Njord's sister wife is unknown.
There you go.
There you go. I like the sister wife. We'll just call it sister wife. Is that sister wife number one or sister wife number two? So Greg, are you going to be here next week to tell another story on Friday?
I believe so.
I think so. Soon we're going to be on the... Do you have any suggestions? Now, we could also make him repeat, or we can make him look up new ones. And I was actually... This is something we were discussing for topics for the online tours. And one of the things we could feature on the differing station is Vikings of interest. So Carl's made a little list of Vikings to talk about, like Harold the Fine Hair. And, oh God, there's plenty more, though. But anyway... if you have any suggestions, put them in there and see if you can come up with one he hasn't thought of. I will torture Greg to do his hair. Yeah, no, this I was actually thinking about. You can see Greg's hair starting to look a little fluffy on top again. That means it's time to braid. But she thinks that I need to do this with the claws online.
Oh, God.
And see how well you can keep up with your storytelling. Oh, no, we have to do this. Think of your happy place, Greg. Find your happy place.
I won't be telling stories if my hair's being done like that. I ain't telling stories at the same time.
Well, the tip would be then, if you wash it and comb it out first or brush it out, then it won't hurt so much. I won't need the combs. If you don't, then I'm bringing on the claws.
You only did it earlier in the week and it was fine then.
No, it was fine then. Yeah, I know, but I don't know what you do in your sleep. Remember we talked about this? I used to have to lace his hair down like hair tape, but with linen, just to keep it from going. Okay, Heidi, how long are you here and how long are you staying now that you don't have food in your mouth?
I'm staying for the most of the summer.
Yay! And you finished neck warmer?
Yeah.
Do you have it with you?
No,
but I saw it on Instagram. It was there. Well, so that'll be fun.
It's just the end. I have to sew in.
Mm. Yeah, I have to sew in the ends on everything. I have to.
And now I'm starting on a new doll.
I like your dolls. You have to show that. Here, we have to show it properly. She's even got a pin.
Yeah, and she's
Isn't that cute?
Dresses.
She's got pretty hair. I just saw the wool hanging off the end. And she's got...
Karin.
Nothing in there.
She's done all the way up, but she doesn't have any underwear. This is a very risque dolly you have going on here. Albert says he's challenged Karin before to braid. Yes, but Albert, I can do your hair now. From what I understand, it's shoulder length now. You're getting on par with Karl and Greg.
No, mine's down.
Hi, Adrian's here too. Still, tell the story of why the earthquaker exists according to mythology. Earthquakes exist according to mythology. Okay. That's a good one.
That one I'll tell next week.
That's a good one.
Well, actually, I'll try. if Karin will allow it, I've
Yeah.
got 2 stories.
I can.
In this.
Oh.
Because there's the earthquake story and there's how did Freya and Frey become Aesir gods or go into the
Aesir gods, yeah.
So I can tell both of those stories next week.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, no,
And then
because I can show a little
but
bit of
make sure
needle
you join
biting.
me, because otherwise you won't find out the answers.
No, you'll have to. No, that's perfect, because I can show a little needle biting, but it's so hard to see it on this. The only way to actually do a video with needle biting proper is to have it like straight up and down, so it's so as long and everybody's getting so good at needle biting lately. I haven't had to field too many questions.
Anne in the Zooms.
Yeah, Anne started Zoom right after we started this one, and we thought that was perfect. She had we joined up and talked with her for I don't know like 4 hours, and she had so much stuff to share. So and then it was really happy to hear about 2 weeks later. She says, "No, we need to do this all the time." So she started the Zoom chat, but she has it set up. If you haven't seen Ann Decker's Zoom chats anyway, she has one camera focused on her, but the other on her thumb, and she can show you.
And I am still not
perfectly
touching it to try and create it with a 10-foot particle.
No, but you can try this mitten on, but you don't want to pull it on. You have to kind of just scrunch it on. It goes on that hand to see, because your hands are bigger than Carl's. But I was trying to make it has to be bigger than mine.
Who's it being made for?
Store.
Oh, right.
It'll go in the web shop. Oh, but you can get them on your hands then. Okay.
They fit.
Yeah.
They're a little bit tight there for me, but that's because I've got very broad hands.
Yeah, but I need to make more sizes. So good. Then I'll test your hand next. I have your sock in the bag too. I got to try.
That's actually, it's quite...
Should we make Greg try on the sock? I haven't been able to do anything on it because I've been missing his foot. You have to push it off. Don't pull it off. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll just get skinnier.
Skinnier, skinnier, and skinnier.
So, and with the same concept, I need to make sure that the smallest one of these, I think this one, these are Greg's socks, because you should see what he does to socks. So we did thicker stitches this time. You've seen it, yeah? Oh, they're the same, yeah. They're just waiting for new. So this one has to fit over his. This is the foot. It has to fit here. If it doesn't fit over here, it doesn't matter how tight it is here. Okay, foot boy. Yeah, I think that one's just like a hair longer than this one, but not by much. So it's to see how tight is it going over this part of your foot. If it doesn't make it over that part of your foot, it won't.
Well, it's on, so.
Yeah, but how much room do you have here?
I
don't know if I want to go any tighter. No. So he, let's see. No, it's just right. I can get a thumb in between. I can get a thumb between here, and here with one thumb. So that's good. That means I'm turning his heel. So now I have to go here and measure on him. So I will do that after, because we have a tour tonight too, but I know I need your foot for that to count. Oh, actually, no, I can do this. Just a minute. Okay. More to-dos. If you take this, now that I'm ready to do this part of his foot, but to figure out how many stitches you need here, because you're going to abandon, just like I did with the thumb hole, you're going to skip these stitches and make a chain that goes like this and around the other side. So you're skipping this part. Anyway, to do that, you can stick the working end, not the starting end, but the working end. You can put it around the foot like that, and then count how many stitches are, and you don't want to be less than that, otherwise it'll be hard to get on his foot. There you go. Try.
Okay. So
I'll make you count too.
Hey?
No, I'm just kidding. Is that the working end? It has to be the working end, yeah.
Isn't that the working end?
Yep, that is the working end. Good. And then you
Like
want to
so?
have this part. Yeah, you don't want to count that end. There you go, like that.
Like that?
Yeah, but get it on the fattest part of your foot.
Oh, God.
No sucking it in here now. We want all the...
I think that's the fattest part of my
You
foot.
should see what we're doing down here. It's not pretty. All right. Let's see.
What am I doing now?
I need you to. I can take it like that, or just take it off and hold the pinch, and then I'll take it after that.
Yep.
Okay. Robin. Hey, Robin's here. I need to set his alarm to remember this. Was just playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so forgot the time. I'll let you get away with that slightly because it was Valhalla. That's it. Next time you have no excuse. Every Friday in June it will be, because we screwed up our schedules for Saturdays and accidentally booked us. Oh, good. So you got the, okay. I've been waiting for him to make me some Schuldenham ones. Also, Greg, I'll bring some of my magic cards to the summer. Okay, if you haven't figured out, okay, Alder cover there in BFD 98. That is Adrian and Albert, or actually Albert and Adrian in that order. They are coming to work here this summer.
Excellent.
Did you see the evil in Greg's eyes when he said, excellent?
I know I can be a little bit Mr. Burns-esque, but I'm not that evil.
Nah. So in about 4 weeks, we'll be putting them in front of the camera too, whether they like it or not. And no, I don't pay for this because I don't get paid for it either. So much hype. We have expectations. So it's, you know how hard it is to find a Viking employee? You have to like find someone to do a Viking. They have to have all their own gear because you can't just go out and buy it. And the Hemnes and Maritz, you have to make it or trade or go broke getting someone else to do it for you. Or, yep. Okay, we're at an hour. So I'm going to,
trade.
Or
in
trade.
my case, trade Magic the Gathering cards for socks.
No, not for socks, you bastard. Look what you did. He's going to trade Magic. I'm leaving you. Friday, next Friday at 6 o'clock, same time.
Bye
6
for
o'clock
now.
European. See you. End stream. Yep. Maria made